today's video, we are going to compare two different games, BeamNG Drive and Teardown. Let's get straight into comparing both games. So let's start off with the prices for these games. Now, BeamNG Drive is $25 and Teardown is $30. So that's, for both of them, that's not a bad price for video games because they're getting very expensive nowadays. We should be really thankful that the games aren't $70 or $60 or whatever games are, whatever the price games are today. Okay, let's start off with the next category, graphics. Now, I usually don't care about graphics in games, but I have to say BeamNG Drive's graphics are way better than Teardown's graphics because they're not based on voxels. The graphics are nice, the shadows, there's nice reflections on the mirrors there. So overall, I think it's pretty obvious that BeamNG Drive wins this one. This next category is the destruction in the game, the destruction for the environments. Everything you see in Teardown could be destroyed. That's one of the main selling points of Teardown, which I really love it because it turns into this massive chaos open world game where you could just do anything you want. You could destroy anything. I think on some maps you could even destroy the ground. So I guess it's really obvious that Teardown wins this one for the destruction on their environments. The next one is physics, the overall physics in the game. BeamNG Drive wins this one because the physics in Teardown sometimes are realistic, but in Teardown, you could just pick up a massive car and just throw it. So the physics in that game aren't great. BeamNG Drive, on the other hand, is so realistic. The way they handle everything, like the pressure on the car, the aerodynamics, it all comes together to create this massive sandbox realistic physics open world game. The next one is the modding support. Now, I'm going to have to give this one to both games. Both games have amazing modding support. There's a massive modding community, and the developers for the games usually support modding, while other games ban you for it. So Teardown does have a Steam workshop, and BeamNG Drive has a respiratory menu in the game, and both work really well. So I'm going to have to give this one to both games. So for cars, BeamNG Drive does win here. The doors are openable, they have crash physics, and the interiors look like cars in real life. Because Teardown interiors, I don't even think they have a steering wheel in them. So after all, BeamNG Drive is a car game, so the cars are going to be way more detailed and functionable than the cars in Teardown, which is a destruction-based game. So for weapons, I'm obviously going to give this one a Teardown. I mean, that's pretty much one major thing of the game. There's just so many weapons in Teardown. I don't even know all of them. And also you could get weapons with mods too. So there's really probably an endless amount. So anything you could think of, guns, bombs, rocket boosters. There's a physics gun which lifts up cars, and there's even drinks for some reason that make your character faster. So I think Teardown has much weapons, and actually Teardown has more right-of-way weapons than Call of Duty does. So BeamNG Drive, I don't think it has any weapons at all because it is a car game. The only weapon I can think of in BeamNG Drive is the gun mod, which you could use to damage your car with. So the next one is the maps, and again, I'm going to have to give this one to both games. Now, both games, BeamNG Drive's maps are way bigger than Teardown's maps, but Teardown's maps need to be small to account for the physics and all the explorable interiors it has. But BeamNG Drive's maps are very detailed and very massive, so I really couldn't decide on this one, so I just went with both because it makes way more sense. Alright, so the story and missions. So Teardown has a full-on story mode where you could do heists. And in the heists, I've actually tried them before. I actually might play them on the channel. I think they're really fun, and they are pretty enjoyable missions. And they do have quite a challenge to them. Now, maybe, who knows, there probably will be a career mode in BeamNG Drive in the future, but for now, Teardown stories and missions are way better than BeamNG Drives. Alright, so this is the final category. The most important thing in any video game is which game is more fun. And this is actually a hard decision, but I've decided Teardown is slightly more fun, the gameplay slightly more fun than BeamNG Drives. Because think of it, there's so many weapons and stuff to do in Teardown. I'm not saying BeamNG Drive is boring, but I feel like Teardown just has more to do because there's a story and more weapons. This is kind of my opinion sort of, because there are probably people who have both games and think BeamNG Drive is more fun and one thinks Teardown is more fun. So this is probably more my opinion. So, which game is better? Now, I'm just gonna have to say, it actually depends what you like. If you're a car person and you love driving cars and racing them and customizing them, BeamNG Drive is obviously the right game for you. But if you love destruction and chaos, then I'd go with Teardown. And if you like both, maybe you should get both games. But it'd be pretty expensive though. So that is my list. Also, for the points and score of both games, I've put them on the bottom of the screen right now. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next BeamNG Drive or Teardown episode.